Plato's influence on early Jewish, Christian, and Gnostic philosophy. Plato's philosophical writings played a significant role in shaping early Jewish, Christian, and Gnostic thought. His ideas about reality, the divine, and knowledge influenced key thinkers like Philo of Alexandria and Clement of Alexandria, who integrated Platonic concepts into Jewish and Christian theology. Through these figures, Plato's philosophy also left a lasting imprint on Christian Gnosticism, particularly in the texts found in the Nag Hammadi Library. The influence of Platonic thought is evident in the way these traditions approached questions of creation, the nature of God, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Plato's influence on Jewish thought. Philo of Alexandria. Before Plato's ideas could influence Christian and Gnostic thought, they first shaped Jewish philosophy, particularly through Philo of Alexandria, 20 BCE, 50 CE. Philo was a Hellenistic Jewish philosopher who sought to harmonize Greek philosophy with the teachings of the Hebrew Scriptures. He used Platonic concepts to interpret Jewish theology, presenting God as an ultimate, transcendent being and the material world as an inferior copy of divine reality. One of Philo's most significant contributions was his development of the concept of the logos. Drawing on Plato's idea of a higher realm of forms and intermediaries between the divine and the material, Philo described the logos as a divine force that serves as a bridge between God and creation. This idea would later become central to early Christian theology, particularly in the Gospel of John, where Jesus is identified as the divine logos. Philo also adopted Plato's dualistic worldview, emphasizing the contrast between the physical world and the spiritual realm. This influenced later Christian and Gnostic beliefs about salvation, which often portrayed the material world as something to be transcended in favor of a higher spiritual existence. Plato's influence on early Christian thought. Clement of Alexandria. Plato's philosophy continued to shape religious thought through early Christian theologians, especially Clement of Alexandria, c. 150 to 215 CE. Clement was deeply influenced by both Philo and Plato, believing that Greek philosophy could serve as a preparation for Christian faith. He saw Plato's teachings as a stepping stone toward understanding Christian doctrine, particularly regarding the nature of God, the soul, and the pursuit of divine knowledge. Like Philo, Clement embraced the idea of the logos as a divine intermediary. However, he went further by explicitly connecting the Platonic logos with Jesus Christ, arguing that Christ was the ultimate source of wisdom and truth. Clement also incorporated Plato's concept of the philosopher as a seeker of divine knowledge, portraying the Christian as someone who must transcend ignorance and pursue spiritual enlightenment. Clement's synthesis of Plato and Christian theology laid the groundwork for later Christian thought, influencing figures such as Origen and Augustine. His writings also helped shape the mystical and allegorical interpretations of Scripture that became prominent in early Christian philosophy. Plato's influence on Christian Gnosticism. Many of the key ideas found in Christian Gnosticism, particularly in the texts of the Nag Hammadi Library, reflect Platonic themes. Gnosticism was a diverse religious movement that emphasized the idea of secret knowledge, gnosis, as the key to salvation. Plato's concept of a hidden, higher reality and the need to escape the material world strongly resonated with Gnostic beliefs. One of the most significant Platonic influences on Gnosticism is the concept of the demiurge. In Timaeus, Plato describes a creator god who forms the material world as an imitation of the eternal forms. Gnostic thinkers adapted this idea, portraying the demiurge as a lower, ignorant being who mistakenly believes himself to be the supreme god. This notion appears in texts like the Apocryphon of John, where the demiurge, often identified with the Old Testament God, is seen as a flawed creator who traps human souls in the material world. Gnosticism also drew on Plato's theory of forms, particularly his distinction between the material and spiritual realms. The Gnostic idea that human souls originate from a divine realm and must escape the physical world to reunite with the true God parallels Plato's belief that the soul belongs to a higher reality and must seek enlightenment. The emphasis on secret knowledge as a means of liberation also aligns with Plato's portrayal of philosophy as the pursuit of ultimate truth. Conclusion. Plato's influence on early Jewish, Christian, and Gnostic thought was profound, shaping the way these traditions understood God, creation, and salvation. Through Philo of Alexandria, Platonic ideas were incorporated into Jewish theology, particularly in the concept of the Logos. Clement of Alexandria further integrated Platonic thought into Christian teachings, helping to establish connections between Greek philosophy and Christian doctrine. Meanwhile, Gnostic texts in the Nag Hammadi Library reflect key Platonic themes, including the idea of a hidden divine reality, the demiurge, and the soul's journey toward enlightenment. Plato's philosophical legacy thus played a crucial role in shaping the intellectual and theological foundations of these religious traditions.